Beautiful. Ladies and gentlemen, Monero Mateo, welcome back. It is a gorgeous day in LJ, Georgia. And I gotta tell you guys, North Georgia, man, it is the place to be. It is, in my opinion, one of the places that you could go to escape the chaos, at least for a short period of time. There is no ultimately escaping what is coming. But nevertheless, I think that it's a place to be. It's peaceful, it's nice, the people are down to earth. A lot of Christians in the North Georgia, Tennessee area. It's good folks all around. And so for those of you who are considering strategic relocation, I would look into North Georgia. Because I myself was thinking about like fleeing to Idaho, Montana. And interestingly enough, I keep seeing in the news, like the administration right now is literally loading migrants onto planes and are shipping them to red states in order to presumably just, move their political foot soldiers around the country to these strategic spots so that they could turn them blue and so that they could establish one-party state and turn America into a total communist neo-California type of deal. If you look at California, that's not that exciting. And we've talked about this on the channel, how you want to hedge against the worst possible scenarios. And you do this by, getting some silver, gold, food, guns and ammo and stuff like that. But, California has rolling blackouts. California is pretty much a failed state, as far as I can tell. Now, it's got a lot of economic activity, but that's quickly moving out to places like Texas, etc. Oh, I'm not sure where I'm going here. Let's check this out. Well, I'm going to put this on Odysee. This is not going to be that crypto related. It's going to be a little bit crypto related, but not in the way that you would otherwise think. But today I wanted to talk about how, yes, a lot of chaos in the world. And I think that a lot of people in crypto are under this delusion or misperception that crypto can solve all of our problems. It's sort of like an inverse scapegoat effect, right? The people who want to blame all their problems on one particular thing and establish a scapegoat, one external reason why everything's going wrong. The crypto people, in many cases, and I see this all the time, I want to read you guys a tweet. These people, they want to bundle all of the world's problems into a basket and then have crypto lift that basket to the Lord to be sanctified and done away with. Like they think crypto is going to be that. And I want to read you guys this tweet that I saw, which just encapsulated all of this. This guy says, "I wish to live in a world of truth, integrity, and freedom versus one of lies, state surveillance, and coercion. It's early still, but the transmission mechanism to that world is Bitcoin." Now, you guys know what I'm going to say about that. Bitcoin leading you to a world of freedom, leading you to a world where there's no state surveillance. Clearly, this guy has not done his research, and this is an otherwise respectable gold and silver analyst. Not a dumb guy, but, just people are not educated on this stuff. I found that a lot of people still think that Bitcoin is private. No, it's not private. And I found that a lot of people, even if they think Bitcoin isn't that private, it's not a problem. They don't understand the fungibility issues with this. They don't understand that we're going into kind of like this neo-scientific dictatorship where AI is going to be integrated into everything. It's going to be like an Internet of Things type of thing. We've talked about on our channel how they're going to set up in Europe, or at least they're talking about this, which indicates to me that they're definitely moving that direction, in a digital database, a digital asset register, which has everything you own logged into a system, right? So if you decide to maybe sell something on Craigslist, or sell something off eBay, or even to just give away something, it's going to be logged, it's going to be tracked. There's going to be like a chip in there that tracks its location. And they even said that if it's not part of the system or the database, it could be conscripted because it's quote unquote undesignated property or something like this. So that's coming, guys. I mean, the state surveillance is going to get out of control. And that ties into what I wanted to talk about today. Bitcoin doesn't fix this. Crypto itself does not fix this. Crypto itself, in terms of the real crypto, the private crypto, the Freedom Coin Covenant, these things offer a hedge against all this. Gives you a partial way out. If you want to transact with your fellow man without these vampiric third parties getting in the way, without them catching you in these spider webs that I'm walking into, you can use these currencies. And it's where the free market can survive this onslaught, right? And it kind of is like a communist takeover. One of you had commented on my video yesterday about the price manipulation of Monero. You had said that, yeah, these communists are trying to take everything over. Of course, they're going after Monero, or something to this effect. And they had censored your comment. And so another one of you had commented, yeah, I see like, goodness, 20 comments here, but I only, like, it says 20 comments, but I only see like 10 here visibly. This censorship is crazy. And I'm like, yeah, of course the censorship is crazy. And interestingly enough, one of the censored comments is there's a communist takeover going on. So as to only prove the point, right? But I mean, with a communist takeover integrated into AI and mass surveillance, dude, to have your wealth on a public blockchain, and like, people don't realize how big a bet that is. I think betting on Bitcoin is a way bigger bet, in my opinion, than betting on Monero, right? Because you're betting that if Bitcoin does succeed, they aren't going to go after your Bitcoin, which they will. They absolutely will. If they succeed in setting this up, you think that your wealth can just sit there on the public blockchain, they're not going to go after it? No. No. See, these people, in my opinion, have way too much faith. In good faith, I would say, in who it is they're up against. I think that these forces, to some degree, are completely demonic. Oh, what's up, dude? What's up, Spidey? Hopefully I turn into Spider-Man after that. Anyways, yeah, they have too much faith. Way too much faith. But crypto can only serve as a hedge against this, right? And it can't fix this problem fundamentally. In fact, it very well could make it worse. And this is the case with most technologies. You know, people have been saying for 50 or so years, oh, this technology is going to make life better. Oh, this technology is going to provide us more liberty and freedom. This revolution is going to give us a greater world, right? Whether it's the Industrial Revolution or the new revolution we just went through, like the digital online internet revolution, which otherwise would have been very deflationary and made prices for everything very cheap. But no, that was countered against central bank money printing, and so prices stayed the same, if not went up, right? Kind of tricky thing they did there. This big wealth transfer scheme. But the deal is, guys, I wouldn't bet on crypto to fix this problem. The problem is much deeper. Holy moly. Whoa. Look at that guy. Might need a new stick. Yeah, let's get rid of that. Some deadly looking spiders everywhere. Like I said, this is not a often crossed trail. Let's make sure that Peter Parker ain't anywhere on here, right? All right, so what was I saying? So crypto ain't going to bring back the family. Crypto ain't going to stop China from becoming a global hegemon. Crypto is not going to make the media stop lying. Crypto is not going to stop taxation or people's belief that the government is effective in doing whatever it is they think the government does, build roads or whatever, right? And become anarcho-capitalists. Like, these things aren't going to be borne about by crypto. And a lot of the people that I see in crypto on Reddit are not anarcho-capitalists. They're more like communists. And they're socialists. I see this all the time. And so I'm not sure what they think is going to result from crypto saving the world, especially because people's political beliefs aren't really changing. People aren't going back to God because of crypto. And that's a significant thing, that people aren't going back to God. Because one of the main issues with society, ladies and gentlemen, is the fact that people no longer have an internal moral structure. The spirit of the law is dead. And civilization now is just one giant bluff. Because for thousands of years, the idea of law was backed up by the prospect that the law was something established as a derivative on top of a natural law, something which bound people internally to a structure of right and wrong. And the law, as we understand it, was established so as to make it so everyone was on the same page. There was no confusion as to what we all were already supposed to intuit through our conscience. And that was the establishment of what you would call positive law, which is a derivative of what was philosophically, since the time of ancient Greece, called natural law. The idea that there is an order to nature. The idea that we do intuitively know what's right and wrong. And even if we do wrong, if we have a conscience and we recognize we have a conscience, it hurts us to do that. And now in society, people are being deceived to think that if they do stuff which is wrong, if they do stuff which is immoral, well, that is just them being confused. That's a social programming problem. You know, it's like the whole gender thing. It's just like, oh, well, I mean, you thinking you're a boy when you're a girl, that may be hard on the conscience, but look, you're totally right for believing that. You should get, you know, your genitals chopped off at the butcher shop. You know what I mean? It's just like, people are going crazy now because there's this huge defiance of the conscience and that there is a natural order to everything. And so crypto does not solve that problem. Crypto does not bring that back. Crypto does not have people fear eternal punishment for doing wrong, right? Crypto does not make it so that people are acting good when nobody else is watching. And this is the big issue with this new secular world order. And that's why I say it's a bluff. Because yeah, you could have a legal system that punishes people when they do wrong, but what incentive do they have to do right and to not do wrong if they don't feel like they're either getting rewarded or punished for it, right? If you feel like you can get away with something, why don't you do it? What's stopping you? Like, you know what I mean? And the argument for thousands of years was, well, God's going to judge you. You're not going to go to Valhalla. You're not going to go to heaven. You're not going to be treated well in the afterlife. Because there is a deity out there watching you and judging you based on every single thought, every single act that you take. Right? And we need that to come back. And the secularists have not made a decent argument as to why it is people should be good. I mean, people like Stefan Molyneux have come out and they've said, yeah, here's universally preferable behavior. Here is a logical proof of secular ethics. This is why it makes sense that this is good and this is bad. We can adequately identify what is moral and what is immoral. But in my opinion, this still doesn't solve the persuasion problem, which in moral philosophy is the problem of why be good. As we were just talking about, if nobody's going to reward you for being good, why be good? If nobody's going to punish you for being bad, why not be bad? Because in a society where the IQ is dropping, which means the capacity to delay gratification is dropping, and in a society where people already have issues with delayed gratification because of the internet, because of you know, instantaneous dopamine hits everywhere you go because of your phone and your capacity to access information and access things which pleasure you at a moment's notice, which screws up your reward structure. In that environment, how do you encourage people to be good when to be good in many cases is an act of deferring gratification? Right. I mean, that's the whole promise of Christian thought, is that if you delay gratification, if you be good in this life, and if you give up the obvious rewards that are provided to you by the devil, by evil, for pleasuring yourself now and taking advantage of what's in front of you, even though it destroys your soul but makes your body feel good, why give that up if there is no afterlife, if there is no God? And it's not completely obvious. And it's not completely obvious at all that crypto fixes this. And I think it's a huge deception. I think it's a huge, huge, huge deception. And it could be a cope, in my opinion. It could be just one giant cope. Hold on. Because there's so many problems in the world now that people dream for there to be a singular solution. People think the problem is money. I think ultimately, oh, the central banks are printing all this money. Because central banks are printing all this money, you know, people have a hard time delaying gratification because, you know, we've got credit cards, stocks only go up, so people are just, you know, gambling on the stock market to make money instead of going to work. You know, the government deficits are continuing to be financed, and because the government deficits are continuing to be financed, women would rather get checks from the state and not have to support a husband rather than yeah, does that make sense? Hold on, where am I going? Look at all this. I'm also tied up in a bunch of spider webs. I'm not sure. Get out, get out. Yeah, and you know, wars would stop, I guess, if crypto came to be, because it's not like wars haven't been happening for thousands of years without central banks, right? So it's a giant cope, in my opinion. I wouldn't fall into this. I think Monero and the Freedom Coin Covenant is a great way to hedge against our fallen nature, because it preserves your privacy, which means that you're less likely to be taken advantage of by people who are becoming increasingly less concerned about morality, increasingly more oriented towards the now, as opposed to the rewards and punishments of the afterlife, right? So there's some thoughts on that. Let me know what you think. I'm going to expand more on this. This is just something I thought about right before I made the video, so it's just kind of like a stream of consciousness. But let me know what you think. I think people need to go back to church. I think people need to believe in God again. I think we need a new moral order established. And without that, we can't even rebuild civilization or think about restarting civilization. And it's just going to continue to collapse. I think that's what's going to happen. And crypto, important technology, could be used for good and be used for bad, right? But I think that ultimately it's up to us to be good, to value virtue, and to then go from there. Everything else will fall into place. And if we don't do that, then everything can and will be used against us, right? So, Mayor Mateo, just some thoughts for you on this wonderful Monday? Is it Monday? Tuesday afternoon? Anyways, I'm lost in nature, enjoying the day. The sun is shining, as you'll see, and all is well. God bless you guys. My name is Mateo. Take care.